keep it within the NFL, we can talk about our boys, Carolina Panthers. The Charlotte Observer. I couldn't find the video. I couldn't find the name of the guy, but the Charlotte Observer put out a video piece talking about the eighth pick for the Carolina Panthers, and in doing so, they stated that the Panthers are looking at either wide receiver or edge rusher at number eight. So I think this should one quiet down all of the arguments that are happening within the fan base right now. Everybody's right. We're either looking at wide receiver or we're either looking at edge rusher. And I can understand why they'd be looking at both because the wide receiver drop off after number one, at least from what scouts feel, they feel it's such a drop off that you wouldn't be taking another receiver within the first round. At least not where we're drafting at. Like whether we trade it back or not, no matter where we drafted at, would a receiver truly be in play other than Ted McMillan? That is the people's choice as the guy of this class. So then you start looking over at edge rusher for Carolina. You need both because your offense, no matter what we say about trusting the rookies to grow and all that, we still rank in the bottom five of the league in almost every offense category. Like that was the reality of what we were. We were a bad team, talking about bad team. So that's still the case. But you also were the worst defensive team that I think I've ever laid my eyes on. So edge rusher has to be very much in play. So I think that was I only say that to just kind of mediate the two sides of the fan base that are split right now because we're in that time of the year where everybody has their opinions and everybody has the guys that they like and they're rolling with their guys until the very end. That being said, Michael Williams has popped up as the new name and the new face of what the Panthers are likely going to do at number eight if they so choose to state it. It wasn't necessarily my choice because of the word development. And when I heard that word development, I'm like, hold on, brother. I don't want no parts of that. You can't interest me in that. I don't want none of that. I want developed talent already. Bring them to here. Let them boys be able to produce. Michael Williams is one of those guys you got to see the forest from the trees from, though. He's a guy that he only had 5 sacks, but when you look at his size, how he tested, and and the tool that he has in his toolkit, he's got ability that can turn into an elite player on that side of the ball, and that's what people are kind of banking on. And for us, based off the history of who Edro Avero has picked up as defensive linemen and edge rushers, he does fit the mold of what Avero would like on that side of the ball as well. So one would say that Michael Williams is more than likely going to be the lock. I'm not gonna say more than likely. I'm gonna say it looks like things are trending that way right now for the Carolina Panthers. So, what are your thoughts? How you feeling, Ace? I know this may come as sour news for you, my boy.
Sour. I mean, it's only sour because we're not getting Jalen Walker, but I mean, at the end of the day, he is coming from the Bulldogs, so we're getting a dog that is. Still hate y'all guys, but long as we look, we trending in the right direction because we solidified the edge, we solidified the trenches, and only thing we just need is man a linebacker, bro. Like we really need a linebacker. That's just my only concern here. That's why I was hoping we were banking on Jalen Walker. I mean, he can play both the edge and a linebacker. So I mean, I think this week is just Michael Williams, and I think they're just going. I think they're gonna run through film one more time again, man, and just see is this who we want? Like, is this it? Is Michael Williams a day? But this ain't development. So is Michael Williams gonna be a day one starter? Like, or do we roll with the? Okay, I can see how we may have to do it with Michael Williams. Clowney got to go out there, learn under Clowney. You know what I'm saying? From a number one pick, got granted he ain't lived up to the expectation, but he do know how to create pressure. Both look at the tape. Clowney know how to create pressure now.
Yep.
So, hey, the OG can be like, hey, this is what you got to do to create pressure. This is what you got to do here. All right, boom. Tag in. Michael, get in. Blue chip. Fresh out of Georgia.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. The only thing about Michael is that he isn't. I don't think he's not a blue chip pass rusher to me off top. That's something that he's still gonna have to develop in. Now he is an elite run stopper, and he does things on tape that you would have to kind of understand the responsibilities of what Georgia asks that guy that position to do. And I think that's kind of the problem everybody's having, is that they don't feel like the numbers match up with what where people want to take them. But like, you have to understand that not every guy on the defensive line is going to be tailor made to go get 10, 15 sacks. Some guys have responsibilities that they are supposed to take care of, and so that doesn't lean to them getting the numbers. Not saying that he's not capable, he just hasn't had to do that so far throughout his career. And I can understand the argument being, well, let's go get a guy that has had to do that throughout the course of his career. That's under the assumption that guys can only be lead pass rushers and can't be lead run stoppers and edge setters. That's kind of the problem I think people are having right now, where that you think that only if he's an elite pass rusher, he's probably a very terrible run stopper. And not every guy is like that. Some guys can do both. Some guys can do it all. You know what I'm saying? And
Jalen. And so you bring him in.
look, I'm with you, and especially considering that we need help at the linebacker position. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think it's all gonna be based on what the coaching staff feels is priority need, and what guy can fill that priority. So if they feel like if they feel like Michael Williams has more elite traits to be an elite edge, and can and can solidify that position from day one, then that's probably likely who they're rolling with. Now, linebacker, like you said, being a position of need, it is a big position of need. It's so much so that I don't think we can even afford to spend the first two picks on anything but defense, to be completely fair. Because I don't,
Message. Message.
it's,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
it's looking like that, man. Just because, like, I just don't know. I just have a fear, and it's really just my fear of just how things have gone the past couple of seasons. I have a fear of us trying to wait late, and we're gonna end up getting big again if we keep trying to wait. The receiver group, though, I think there are guys that I like more in this receiver group. Not because they're better than Ted McMillan, but because of what we just don't have in that room. I like those guys. Like Isaiah Bond is a guy I really like, because that's exactly the type of receiver Bryce Young has had uber success with from his college days, and we haven't given him that type of receiver yet in the league. We tried to give it to him with Deontay Johnson, but that just didn't work. But I think a younger guy for him to work with could help remedy that. I do still believe that the Panthers can go out and sign Amari Cooper right now, and that's the best receiver in your room. I'm not against that. I'm not against signing Amari Cooper, and I'm not against go sign Amari Cooper and still go draft a receiver within those top three picks that you have. I still believe you should be going to go get a receiver within by the by a latest the third round. You still got to add talent here. No matter what. Like I don't know. I just don't believe that we should just be beholden to just adding one guy and feeling like, hey, that's gonna solve it for us. That's gonna be what does it. But no, we need to go add talent on talent, which is why I understand people's argument for Ted McMillan when those such as yourself argue for Excel. It's not, I can see the argument being that, hey, look, it's not that we're giving up on Excel necessarily, even though this fan base has not shown me that they haven't. It's more so that we want to add as much talent as possible. And I can understand that. I can understand that. We just differ on what we think is important. That's all it really boils down to. We differ on the offense being more important than defense and vice versa. That's all.
I mean, like you said, bro, the first two picks got to be off. I mean, the first two picks got to be defense, because you don't keep Ibero back here and then send him back with more BS to work with going into the next season. Like, it's like what you said. That makes sense, bro. So yeah, we can go sign Amari Cooper right there. More veteran experience for Bryce. Definitely can help Excel out, and then bring in Isaiah Bond probably in the third round. Boom. The the offense will be upgrade as a whole as it is. Because we need every receiver to contribute, not just one person. Not no knock against Ted or anything like that. I highly doubt Berg is gonna be there at 8 when we get there to him. Actually, I think that anything he'd be like top 15 or something like that. But I mean, getting wild by a guy that's cooking the University of New Mexico. Like, come on, bro, we can get better than that, man. We really can do better than that. Let's let's not put all our chips into that, bro. Let's just tread lightly here, okay? That's all I'm really saying. So let's just get our defense together. First two picks, probably get a receiver in the third. Hopefully we can play for Amari Cooper. Hopefully we can play for another safety. Middle linebacker, I don't know any middle linebackers left. Hell, all the teams. I think Greenlaw is really the one that I really wanted to get, but I mean that's all I like to picture now. But yeah, bro. Overall for me, let's get this first. Let's get this defense straight. I'd rather go defense.
I feel that for sure. Julian Blackman has been the name that's popped up here for the Carolina Panthers as of late, for the Indianapolis Colts. That would help the safety room out immediately. We need as much help as we can get there. Like you said, just overall raising the talent floor of this team. And here's the last thing I'll say. And I saw this tweet. I can't remember who tweeted it, bro. But I think by the time we post it, they'll know whether. And if I can find the tweet again, I'll give them credit. But they said this. They said the disconnect with the Carolina Panthers fan base and the front office is that the front office is trying to raise the floor of this of the team. Raise the floor, meaning that hey, go get solid players, not superstars, but solid players that they ultimately can do their job. That if we're not as great as we want to be, we're still not as bad as we have been. And that tweet made a lot of sense to me when I saw it. But fans of course want to raise the ceiling of the team. They want this team to be at the highest it can be as quick as possible, and that's kind of the disconnect. And I think realistically,
Those are 2015 fans. Those are 2015. Those are 20. Those are those. I had that thought. I had that same thought to myself last night. Those are 2015 fans. If you get offended, by all means, wear the shoe. Y'all are 2015 fans.
damn, I didn't say it. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Ace came through with the message. You know what I'm saying? He approves it. You feel me? But realistically, I think the realistic way to fix this team is to raise the floor, and by proxy, sometimes when you're able to raise the floor of your team, if you get a group that can just gel together, you get a group that truly works. You get situations where you overachieve past expectations. Are the Carolina Panthers due to have one of those overachieving seasons where they mess around and somehow end up in the playoffs? Absolutely, I think absolutely somebody's gonna have it, whether it be us or whether it be somebody else. That's how the NFL goes. There's always gonna be one team that just wildly overachieves and puts themselves back into a playoff picture where they weren't in there before. Could the Carolina Panthers be that? I absolutely believe so. If you play your cards right, if you play your cards right, and I think that where fans would like the team to have gone, which would have been getting guys on bigger contracts, getting spending a lot more money than what we probably had available to us, instead of filling out the entirety of the roster. I'm not necessarily saying I love everything that this team has done because am I'm undecided until I see the final result. So until we get the 53-man roster set, I won't have any true opinion. I like some of the things that they've done. I want us to attack other areas, safety being one of them, and wide receivers still being one of them as well. They got a lot of holes to fill. This is a team that this is a group that got left with a lot of work to do for this roster. You know what I'm saying? I'm only giving Dave Canales a pass. Dan Morgan was here for that. Dan, uh you know what I'm saying? You on the clock, my boy. Um, but yeah, no. Overall, I think that's what the disconnect is. I wish I could find that tweet. And if I do find it, I'll put it on the clip. But yeah, the disconnect is the fans want to raise the ceiling. The team wants to raise the floor. And realistically, raising the floor to me is the most realistic way to go about improving this team.
It's gonna take building blocks, man. I mean, it really is. I mean, development and building blocks. Because just like I said, what free agent is gonna want to come here? What reason have we gave a top free agent to come here? If
I mean,
Jamar if
it's
Jamar
like
Chase, no, go ahead.
I mean, but like look at Milton Williams for example. Like that was gonna be the big name guy, but he just got outbid. Like we're not a team like you said that nobody really wants to come to. Even when we saw the conversation him and his agent were having, he didn't really want to come here. He was gonna go where he got the most bread. Which I mean, understandably so. You're a free agent, but like we didn't have the bread to throw around either. So like we're kind of in like we're in a no man's land really.
Actually, this was the topic. This actually was the topic that Coach and I, Panthers coach, shout out to him on X. We talked about on the space last week, and Milton got brought up, and we was like, you don't think? Coach was like, you don't think that his agent or somebody from the Patriots front office was like, hey, well, I go to Carolina where you can get 10 plus sacks, but nobody would know it because they're not getting on primetime television. They're not getting shown. They're not getting brought on the national broadcast. It's because like when me and you, remember me and you did the schedule release? What's the first thing we noticed? 0 primetime games. 0. Ain't nobody gonna watch us unless you're in Atlanta, North Carolina, maybe the eastern part of Tennessee. You might catch a Panthers game then in South Carolina, the great state of South Carolina. But other than that, you ain't gonna catch some Panthers games. Ain't nobody gonna come watch you. Why come down here and you gonna get 10 sacks and you're not gonna get broadcast for it, showcase for it. You gonna get paid, but your work you ain't gonna get nothing. Then the best you're probably gonna get 6 wins, maybe. That's what they thinking. That's what the outside NFL thinking. Me, just get a Bryce played the way you playing the second half this year, and then the defense have a bit of a pulse. I'm telling you, we're gonna be some dangerous We're gonna be dangerous. I stamp that the Panthers will be dangerous once those two things happen. I promise you.
So no, absolutely, we're right there. I think to the outside world, of course, we don't matter. We ain't got nothing. We had a little blip of success at the end of the season, but it ain't real. I think it's real. I think it's real. Like you said, if Bryce follows up on what he did last year, but the Bryce is in certain conversations that I don't know if people are really comfortable with putting them into because you know what I'm saying. It's some talks that Bryce will be in if he follows up and improves on what he did last year. That I don't know if everybody's really ready to truly ready to see. Um, but yeah, now you're right. You 100% right on that. Like you said, like the market size, like nobody like you said, like that's a thing. Guys think about that because then it becomes like, hey, how much more money can I get outside of this contract? Like if nobody ever knows who I am because I play here in Carolina, then how can how can I truly be notable? I mean, and New England has worked themselves into that place where they're one of the marquee franchises in the sport. So it is what it
Drake
is.
May, hey, they see the potential in Drake May.
Mhm.
We just got to follow suit on what the Lions did. Cause I remember the Lions, hell, I didn't realize how great Matthew Stafford was until he went to the Rams. I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck with you. Cause when they was like, the Panthers was in play, they're saying like, what we was trying to say, what 3 or 2 first round picks to Detroit for Matthew Stafford. I was like, what the hell?
Something like that. Something
But
along those
some of us like,
lines.
now you gotta look. That like, I get it. We ain't watched no Detroit games, but you gotta look where he's playing. Look where he's playing at. I was like,
Yeah.
Detroit. I only saw Detroit on when he used to get whooped on Thanksgiving against the Green Bay.
Man, they were
That's
them
what.
ugly ass silver caps, bro, with no logo on the joint, bro. It's looking sad, bro.
Yeah, but now they are the it team. They, after what before COVID, a little bit, when the new coach came in, Campbell,
Yeah, Dan.
he changed the
Yeah,
culture. Yeah,
oh, change the culture immediately. Yeah, but you look at it like they similarly how this season went for us this past year. A lot of close losses in those early days of Dan Campbell. He spent 2 years having close losses, and that's what I think people aren't really willing to wait. I don't know if Panther fans are willing to wait another year for this. Unfortunately, even though I think that's where we're going to be at. Um, a lot of close losses, but a lot of competition though. A lot of his team competing from start to finish and making sure that they were in every single ball game. I think Carolina has a chance to do the same thing. Carolina has a chance to be. They have a chance to be competitive. I won't call playoffs. I won't call anything. I will say this team has a chance to be competitive,
the only
and
direction is up. The only
only
direction
direction
is
is
up.
up. Our direction is up. And this is why I say this kind of maybe kind of a little unrelated. But the reason why I'll say going with the Amari Cooper, I know Panthers coach has been pushing this one. I agree with him wholeheartedly in this. I say go with Amari Cooper for this reason and this reason alone. If you were to get not that we should leave the draft with the rookie receiver. I agree. Where we take them, that's up for debate. I don't know if I want to go into another year with a receiver room of my veterans being only David Moore and only Adam Thielen. I think I would rather have one more vet that can truly be the best receiver in the room than than relying on a Ted McMillan to have to come in and be the best guy. Because that's what Ted would have to be. He would have to come in and be the best guy. Because
And
you're
look up
essentially
y'all history.
looking at him to be the ace.
And when we ask that, please, I encourage y'all to educate yourselves. Look up the history of Big 12 wide receivers, and then get back with me. Feel how you want to feel. Look up the history of Big 12 wide receivers going in the first round, and tell me how, and then get back with me.
Bro, I will say, I typically don't roll with things like this, but Brother Ace did the research. The results came back. It wasn't looking pretty. It did not look pretty, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You got 1.5 maybe. Hollywood Brown still averted on him. CD, we already know. You already know he was a dog off rip.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm just gonna leave it at
CD's
that.
kind of, yeah.